Alright, there it goes. It should be launching now.
There you go.
It went live.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently it did. There's 4 waiting.
There's already 4 people waiting.
Yeah. It's saying live. There we go. There we go.
Looks like shit, don't it? Turn the resolution up. I need to give you these legs, and we need to get the rest of the kit ready for the event tomorrow. Because you're going to be the man behind that smile.
Oh yes. I need to find a good helmet.
Hello, Mr. Cow. Need the food, I'd eat you.
Somebody's just let me leave you alone.
Somebody shooting me.
What?
Somebody shot me.
It didn't do anything though, did it?
Blood needs to keep going up.
Do you need food?
No. Still got some tack bacon left. So if you got an update, that means the server needs to pull that update. Maybe we'll be good to go on the new splash screen.
Yeah, hopefully.
That was my problem. I couldn't get the server to take us change. Talk to Toddy today, though.
No.
He's probably working
He
now.
should. Yeah, he should be on tonight.
Ooh, I'm lagging. My internet is shit. Yeah. I was wondering how long it take my internet to puke. Not much
I
up
wondered
starts
why I was
downloading
still
stuff.
lagging a little bit.
Uh,
So I was wondering why I was still lagging a bit.
ooh, he's piping loud, super loud. I have you on 103.
I think that's the best way. Oh, I just found an SL10. They're still not in the church, aren't they?
Oh,
There's your Mustang from yesterday.
I can't hear you, man. I had to turn you down. That typing was blowing my ears out. Let me turn you back up.
That wasn't me.
All right, talk now.
Hello.
There we go.
So there's your Mustang from yesterday.
Still on the road.
Yeah. So there's your Mustang from yesterday.
Come on.
Did you? Someone's took the spark plug, the radiator, and the battery out of it.
Bastards.
I'll send you a party invite.
missed it.
Messes up.
Yeah, trying to drop on the door. I need color back. Some plaster. This house needs some plaster.
It's not got much in it.
Oh yeah, let's strip this baby. And take the spare of the gas.
No. Can we get rid of it?
Yeah, if you want. Might as well.
Somebody need to have them. Yeah.
I'm gonna update the server real quick.
I know.
To try and get us. Plus, we changed the base around.
Yeah, it made you stronger and stronger. Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because like after a while, he'd be like, "Okay, well next time we're gonna come with more backup," and we're like, "Okay." And I tell my guys, I'm like, we're making it harder for them. I was like, this is good. And they're like, dude, we just got our asses kicked. I'm like, no, this is learning. I was like, it's constructive.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely down for that anytime, man.
Oh yeah.
We just heard somebody
Um,
shoot. We were at Northeast. I don't remember what we were doing Northeast. And then
oh
somebody came and
yeah,
shot.
yeah. That's I always tell my buddies, I'm like, when you get trigger happy and I was like, and you get bored, I'm like, go knife a zombie. And I said, don't light up the area. I said, now you're just going to telegraph where we are.
Oh yeah. I was behind that fence. I watched that car for I don't know how long. The other two guys flanked around the town. You guys never got out of that car forever. And then you started to move, and that's when I opened up in the car.
Yeah. No, it was all right. We don't, believe me, man, we don't care. I mean, what's the most you ever lose? Pixels. So
Exactly. Yeah. Rule 1, never get attached to your gear. Rule 2, never trust a freshie.
oh yeah. Oh my God. So many times. Hi. And you're like, hi. And then they just shoot you in the face. I learned that like the first week that I was playing. I'm like, okay. So I was like, now I know why they shoot fresh people.
Yup. Pull the shovel and clunk you in the head.
Mm-mm-mm.
I don't know if that stream came back.
I learned that like the first week that I was playing. I'm like, okay. Have you guys added any like new mods lately?
Yeah, we added a couple. CPB weapons. How the heck did I end up in here? There we go.
Oh, okay.
So the FD338 and the Mongo's still here. His favorite gun. It's an awesome sonic gun. Can't remember what it's called. MC or KC.
Yeah. I just found a what is it? The M300. Is that the Praetorian? Is that the one with that's like semi-automatic or something?
The sniper.
Or is that the
bolt
bolt?
action? Yeah.
Yeah, but this one's got a suppressor already on it.
Yep. That's what I'm running with. M200.
It looks like it looks like you made the gun. Like it's not like a fresh paint job or anything. Like it looks like someone put it together.
Yeah. Like a custom build out.
Yeah. I got one of those. I want to say I found it over by that tower. Because there's like a barracks like surrounded by rocks.
Oh yeah.
Right
Man
underneath.
on the hill.
Yeah. And for some weird reason, dude, there's like this like it looks like a Baltimore sewer rat or like this like cracked out jackrabbit thing you guys got out there. We shot that thing like 20 times, then we went to go find it and it was gone. I'm like, damn.
That's one messed up rat.
Oh yeah. But we kept seeing stuff because like my favorite spot to build a base is that tower. So as soon as I saw the tower, I was like getting all nostalgic. I'm like, oh look. I was like, remember when we had because I think that we had it on a different server up because it's up in Novo.
Yep.
And I mean, that thing was impenetrable. Like as soon as I got up there, that was the one that the admins like they unless they were teleporting in, they couldn't get in there. And we had like 2 clans come together, and they were like, look, because the one guy spent like 2 hours trying to get in the door, and all he did was he got met with a tier 3 brick wall after he got through the 2 gates, and he's like, oh man. And
Sucked
he
the
even
life
told
right
me,
out of him.
yeah, he's like, you know what? It got to the point where it was just like, you know what? We're just getting in there. And I think the only way that they got in is they used planter plots like stairs
Yeah.
and came up the outside of the building and came in through the roof, like the very, very top of the building. Because I was inside the building. Yeah, like I was there at like, I don't know, I want to say like 2 in the morning. And they were trying to raid me until like 6 a.m. And I was in there by myself because all my guys were off. And all I kept hearing was like, huh, and like they're climbing. And I'm like, but I disabled building, but it didn't disable them from digging the ground. So they just used that glitch to get all the way up and around. And it didn't take anything. Their whole goal was just getting in. because they were so mad because it spent so much time trying to get in the front door or the back door, and the front door had like, I don't know, the way that I set or the way that Blake and I set all the walls, like you couldn't get in without messing yourself up. I mean, like we couldn't even get out of our own base without cutting ourselves like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, you definitely had to be know exactly where to stand, and like it looked like you could squat, but you had to like crawl everywhere, and it was interesting. But after a while, we just had the guy wipe it because it started to get so glitchy in that area. And I think there was like 10 walls downstairs alone, and then like everything else was upstairs. But um, we definitely made it interesting for a while.
Yeah, that's actually where we're at right now. He's up there in Novo.
I know. I've spotted you guys.
I'll have you.
Like I said, that's my favorite spot to be. So as soon as I got on the server, I went up there and I saw that you guys were up there. I'm like, I said, how much do you want to bet that that's the admin's tower right there? And they're like, really? I'm like, well, I was going to run my own server on this map. That's exactly where I'd put my base. And they were like, oh, yeah. And they were like, man, it was so unbelievably hard for people to get into our base. And I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's pretty hard to get in theirs. Not to mention, I mean, the only way, honestly, that you would have any leg up on you guys from that position is you'd have to cheat. I mean, that's why I picked it, and that's why the guys did what they did to get in, because they couldn't get in any other way. Like, I think the only other way that I could have any leg up on you guys is if I sat like, I think if I'm on top of the cement building, the cement factory, depending upon what scope I have, your walls won't render.
Oh,
So
really?
if you're upstairs and you've walled off the upstairs, and you're standing behind a wall with a window, your walls won't render in, and I can shoot you as if the wall wasn't even there.
What?
Yeah, I figured I'd give you that pointer in case you were hiding behind a wall and somebody was trying to snipe you. If they can glitch the way they're viewing to the wall not rendering, they can shoot you right through that wall.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of trials and tribulations went into that tower when we were in there. But I mean, that place has everything you need. You got water pump right behind you. I mean, just put a well inside and you're good. But um, if you those cabins that you can make, if you make just the foundation and then add the water pump to it, without building the cabin itself, you can actually pick the water pump up and put it in a backpack.
You can pick it up and put it in a backpack.
Yeah. So
After
if you
it's
just
replaced.
if you go anywhere and just build a foundation, and then you add the parts like the pipe, the epoxy, and the wire, and make your pump, you can just pick the pump up, put it in a military backpack. And I mean, it takes up like the whole thing, but you can put it anywhere. Like you can put it on top of a Hardig if you want, or on top of a car, or wherever it'll set down at. And then like that's what I did in a different server. We just built a foundation, and then everyone went up there with epoxy pipe and wire and made pumps, and then we just took them all and then put them in different spots. Or if you really, really want to mess with somebody, and you've got people standing outside, and let's say you don't have like a toxic grenade, which are great, by the way, from the tower. Just if you have like raw meat or a couple things of guts, like if someone died and you cut them up just to like stop the flies, for the zombies that are around, throw the guts at them, and all the zombies will swarm toward the guts.
No way.
Yeah, it's basically like ringing the dinner bell and just throwing it down at people. And yeah, it's like using a grenade except without an explosive. but it'll definitely bring any zombie in the area to where they are.
Wow. Learn something new every day, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. It'll also save your butt from wolves and zombies if you throw meat or guts. You just chuck it out there and they'll see it and then they'll go after it for a minute and give you a couple seconds to get out of the building, or because like wolves like never leave. The zombies will just like bugger off. But yeah, wolves they're usually standing around waiting for you to come out. But like I don't even trust like hiding from bear. Like usually when a bear comes at us, it's all or nothing, because we've been in situations where like my buddy was running and we kind of scattered and it chased him and he ran into a house and he's like, "Oh God, I'm so glad I shut the door." And then the bear popped in the room with him and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But oh yeah. Or we've played like a game of lockers where kind of like event stuff. Like I said, the admins used to like to keep it, interesting, and they were like, okay, so you got 3 lockers to pick from. One's got, a chunk of money in it, and the other 2 have grenades. And I was like joking around. I said, you should put a bear in one of those. He's like, I don't know if we can do that. So I guess they had it rigged up to where if you pulled the wrong one, a bear would pop out, and that was pretty fun.
Oh my God.
Or have like lightsabers and bears. Have a whole bunch of people together and give them all lightsabers and drop like 2 or 3 bear in the middle and see who the last man standing is.
See if they can who survives that.
Yeah, see if they can survive. But I mean, you're gonna have people hitting each other too, because you can only get so many people in a certain area. But yeah, it's definitely fun. But I mean, I guess the way that we would do it is like when they got everyone to kind of agree to it, he's like, look, just leave all your stuff back at base, let us know and meet us here. And then they're like, after the event, we'll just, bring you all back. And they're like, okay. But it was kind of fun. Or we would have like cannonball runs from basically no-go all the way down to the prison island. So you just drive the entire code, and whoever got there first, you'd all have one starting spot, and whoever got there first would win like a chunk of cash or, a special gun or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we did from Apocalyptic Bunker to the prison once.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fun. There's that.
And that's is that your bunker that's there in the middle of the road?
Middle of the road.
The one where you were just at with the Mustang and the down plane and chopper.
Oh, just after Berry. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's
Because
just
I
a
was
spot.
wondering. Oh, okay. Because we were running there one day, and I'm like, man, there is a bunker in the middle of the road. I said, that's a clear sign. I said, if we go any closer to that, I'm sure we're gonna get shot.
No, it's just another pinch point. There's a pinch point in Cherno too that we put in to where if players want to shut those doors on that bunker, it's going to cause you to have to slow way down. So people are just thinking they're going to fly down the coast
Yeah.
and get away with it. They might not.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of doing that myself every now and then. Unless you're in like the BMW, that thing's pretty damn fast, but it doesn't handle for shit.
No, it makes it slip out. We did a jump ramp for whoever's feeling froggy and they want to try their life at it in at Northwest Airstrip.
Oh yeah. Oh, at the end of the tarmac.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've jumped the Beamer off of there, and I've jumped the monster truck. But oddly enough, the monster truck actually lands on its wheels.
Yeah.
The
that's
Beamer,
what I-
however, like you'll always land it on the roof, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah. Mago landed on the other, dead on the center of the road, all the way past the airplane. Landed it. I was like, no way.
Nice. So, you guys have the cement mixers and stuff in here. Where exactly did you like put those? Like what general areas?
Cherno, Electro, all the construction sites, big city construction sites.
Oh, okay. Because I know we were at the one. I think Blake was talking to one of your guys about how there was like 50 of them in one spot.
That was Cherno. Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
problem with them duping. I cleaned that up.
Okay. Yeah, I think like one of them they had it like on top of the red radio tower at the airstrip.
On top
That
of
kind of
it.
made it. Yeah, that kind of made it interesting because like I mean, on that particular one they had armored vehicles, so we would just like roll there in a group and block off the steps, and then one poor soul would have to run up to the top and start making them. But yeah, like you could definitely tell when people started going up in their caliber because they'd hit the truck and like nothing would happen, and then they start hitting the window with like a 50 cal, and the truck starts rocking, and you're like, oh, we gotta leave. I always laugh because I'm like, rather than wasting all your rounds on my window, why don't you just go for the tires?
Yep. Stick you stationary. You can't roll out.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, we definitely do like the bed idea though. Did someone just like happen to come up with that mod, or is that just something that's available um, in the game?
It's a mod. I actually started writing the mod. The guy beat me to it by about 20 days. One
Oh
of the
shit.
guys got on one day and said, "Hey, guess what?" I was like, "What?" They're like, "There's a baseball and bed mod out." You've got to be kidding me! I couldn't figure out how to keep from other players from spawning at it.
Hmm.
He had the
Yeah,
ingenious idea.
the only thing that I don't like about that particular bed, because that flat pack bed, you can actually access that bed from like 15 feet away.
Yep. So if it's against a wall, you can get to it.
Yeah, if you're outside, you can get to it through the wall. Um, I think it's I think it's kind of like wherever the headboard is, and then like you can just get because I've had to build like pop out walls behind buildings that I've had my base at before, just because of that particular bed. So I just told the guys I was like, well, face them all inward. I said, just don't put anything in them, and then you won't have to worry about someone walking by and like, oh, I can just grab all your stuff out of here. But we we did have the admins used to run by every now and then and change our bed sheets.
Right.
I'd come in my room and I'm like, zebra stripes. I'm like, I didn't want zebra stripes. I'm like, who the hell changed that? And they would just tell you like, yeah, we just put them in random slots like your bed rolls. I'm like, oh.
God.
Yeah, I do like that little admin hatchet that you brought over the one day when we were fixing the walls.
Oh, that's
That
right.
man, that thing's got some ability going on there. Because
Yeah.
I made that well myself, and I'm like, good God, how many stages does this thing have? I'm like, I've seen people put this well in like super fast. I'm like, yeah, they were also using an admin hatchet, so just build it.
Yeah. It's not even. Yeah.
So when you guys put the tower um, for the man on the hill, did you have to like do anything special with that, or can you pretty much do you have like buildings or stuff like that that you can pretty much place anywhere?
Yeah. Just buildings you can place anywhere. Well, when I
Okay.
say anywhere, there is all the zones are broke up into
Mhm.
levels, and then once you place a building, there's a couple spots. I can tell you one of the spots in between Green Mountain and Vibord Military.
Yeah.
If you place something there, it will crash the server. It's like a
Okay.
no-go zone. There's nothing. There's not. There's nothing written as what type of level of loot can be spawned in there. and we did a whole remake of help me out here, Mongo. I'm multitasking. The prison from The Walking Dead,
Hmm.
and we spent hours on it and
Yeah.
put it in, and it was crashing the server back to back to back. And I tried to eliminate certain files, thinking maybe it was the amount of zombies we had in there or something, but nothing worked. I had to pull it.
Well, I know. I think maybe they changed it from like older versions of the game, but I know like maybe back in like the .63 or whatever it was, like the old school, they used to have a cave, like this ginormous cave that was, I guess, in the upper northeast of this map, and then they also had what was it, a like a ski slope, um, resort or something like that.
Yep.
And I think that used to crash all the time too, because I don't ever see them on servers anymore.
I think that's the thing that me and Toddy was on about. Big cave and you had to crawl through. And then once you crawl through, there's like a big fuck off open
Yeah.
space
Yeah,
inside.
and it even had like a big hole in the roof, but it had like I mean, you know, I guess different servers back then were different, but you usually see one like in a video where the guy had like a cabin in there, but it had like a big hole in the roof. Like so other than the tower on this one, I do like Deer Isle because of their underground bases. So I mean, I think the one that was in the sewers was kind of, you know, I mean, that was all over some YouTuber's video. So like
Yeah, it was
Nether or something like that.
Nizar, yeah.
Yeah. And so I actually have one that's a lot better than that location on Deer Isle. And my buddies are like, how the hell do you keep finding these places? I was like, I'm on odd hours. So if I'm on and there's like three people on, you know, it's probably admins and myself. So I'll literally just, you know, I look at the map and I look at the little, because you can kind of tell the little variations of what's underground and what's not. And I went and checked the map I'm on with Deer Isle right now. An admin tried to spawn in and kept falling through the ground. He's like, how are you where you are? I said, I'm about 30 meters underground right now. And he's like, did you glitch down there? I said, no, I climbed a ladder. There's a building underneath of where I'm at, and there's a bunker underneath of it. He's like, oh, all right. And I said, yeah, I didn't make it easy for him. And then like on top, I just have a car tent over the hatch. So I figure once they spend all that time hacksawing into the car tent, they still got a 30-meter climb down. So, and you can't like pull a weapon out when you're on the ladder. So you're kind of screwed climbing down in there.
Yeah, you're
But I literally just boxed it off. So like as soon as you come down there, you would have to know the code or climb back up because you can't hop off. So yeah, I try not to make it as easy as possible for people. But you know, I wanted something that was out of the way. Like I've heard so many gun battles going on above ground, and I'm just sitting there like, yep, they don't even know where it is because the hatch is like in the middle of the rocks somewhere.
What?
But
That wasn't just built into the standard Chinoras.
no, it was in Deer Isle.
All Deer Isle. Yeah.
Yeah, because Deer Isle is the only map that I've noticed that they have underground places. I haven't seen one on Trinarius or Livonia.
I actually got 7 different maps I could load, but haven't
Oh,
been,
really?
yeah, haven't been convinced to do it yet.
See, I've only seen the three. I mean, I what is Epoch another one of them,
Well, Epoch's
or is that
essentially Livonia,
okay?
the NAF, and then I've got a buddy that helps me when I get stuck doing mod stuff. That he's actually a genius compared to anybody I've met, and he wrote 4 other maps.
Oh, nice. Now,
Got actual map.
are they basically like mods to Arma maps?
No, he wrote these from the ground up with map builder.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's even got a Western Town one that it's really Daisy's not ready for it, but it's a PvP Western Town like the old saloons and stuff. But
Hmm.
it's weird. It's weird. It's still got some problems.
He must play some Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it reminds you of.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what, you if he ever broke some of those out, man, you guys would probably get a lot of traffic to him. Because, I mean, shit. Once you've played these maps so many times that, like, I do appreciate that a lot of them have the no stream sniping, which at first I didn't know what that meant. And then I was like, oh, yeah, well, I've played the map so many damn times. I know exactly where the guy is standing. And I'm like, I could just go shoot him right now.
Yep.
And I was like, I guess that's probably what they mean by, not being able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know the terrain so well, you've passed it a million times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or, like sometimes, the admins that my buddy was an admin of, they would hide like random boxes that were like, whatever gun pack just came out, they would have like a gun in there and some cash, and they're like, okay, so you got to find this box. It's somewhere in the, they give you like 6,000, kilometer or 6 kilometers of space, and they're like, it's somewhere in here. Good luck. And you're like, damn, and you got to try and find this. But people were looking for like the new way of building and not just like the old way. So they would like, build some stuff that you would normally just notice anywhere. But I was like looking at the picture that they kept posting, and I'm like, okay, so the ground is slanted. I'm like, all right. So they're on a hill somewhere, and then like I think we found the one because you could slightly see part of like a trail kind of going through there, and I'm like, it's got to be on one of these. I mean, and in 6 square kilometers of space, I mean, you've got so many trails that you can check. But yeah, I think they had something that kind of looked like a 50 cal, but it's like a newer gun. It looks like a 50 cal. It loads from the rear, but it's got this like ginormous integrated suppressor, and it's all black. Um, I wish I knew the name of the gun, but it's a one shot drop.
Oh, the
Like it really,
PSSK.
yes,
Yeah, we had it
yeah,
for a
that thing.
while. It's too OP. I took it out.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You could be wearing Juggernaut armor and it drops you.
Yep. No bullet drop. Totally about quiet. Like 70 decibels.
Yeah, but we were hitting zombies with it because they were like, "Oh yeah, you can't have them, but we'll let you shoot it a couple times." I hit a zombie and like the blood spatter was maybe a good 20 feet in front and 20 feet behind. And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, you hit somebody with any kind of armor. He goes, look, and he threw Juggernaut armor on, and he's like, go ahead and shoot me with it. And I'm like, okay. And I did, and it just dropped him. And I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, that's gonna cause problems. And he's like, yeah. He's like, but he told us, he's like, you'll still have to find the ammo. He's like, you might get a gun, but they're only from like events that he would have it, that you had to get it from like a special event.
Yeah.
But the ammo, he said, you're only going to have whatever ammo that you won with the gun. He's like, until you, win more at another event. And we're like, oh, yeah, I definitely see how that kind of caps it. So, yeah, you might be OP for a while until like your 2 magazines run out. And then you're kind of screwed to using a 50 again, but you still do plenty of damage.
Yeah, that used to be my favorite gun, but who people get mad when you use it.
Oh, yeah. Because it doesn't matter where you shoot them.
Yep.
Like you can shoot them in the leg, you can shoot them wherever, and they're just done.
Yeah, I've just got to go do a few things. I'll be back on soon though.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too
How
long.
long you guys been on today getting the thing ready?
Couple hours.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I figure if you're on Eastern time, then you've probably only been up a couple hours.
Yeah.
Well, now it's probably like noon or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm usually in class like super early. So if I game late at night, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta get off of here.
Start stressing about the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm in nursing school, so I have like biology classes out the yin yang, and I've got a 7 in the morning lecture, and then I've got labs after that. So usually, as soon as I'm done that, I come home and I try to vegetate, de-stress.
Yep. You East Coast too?
Yeah, in Baltimore.
Maryland. Yeah, that's what you told me.
Yeah,
My wife was a nurse for a while, and you ever heard of the Gemini Project?
yeah,
Yeah, she took that, and I remember
nice.
those days, man. That was stressful, hard on us.
Yeah, the right now I'm well, I mean, I was in the service back in the day. I mean, I just turned 40, so I I was trying to think of what kind of job to have, and because I had a tech job for the government for like 15 years, and I had spine surgery like 3 years ago, and I couldn't do the same job anymore, so I had to, you know, change gears. And
Yep.
I'm like, all right, so I won't be able to use my body anymore. I said, so I got to actually use my brain. And when you've been a jarhead for all these years, that's not a tool you usually use too often. But um, I figured that I would go into nursing because, I mean, shit, in Baltimore, it's not like I'm never gonna see a bunch of gunshot wounds. But when I'm done, because I'm going in for to be a nurse practitioner, so
Awesome.
when I'm done, I'll have a certificate from Johns Hopkins University. So that'll always look good on a resume. But I mean, shit, man, like my wife's about to have a kid. So by the time, my child even graduates high school, I'll be damn near 60.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You
that's,
guys
that's
got pregnant
scary,
late,
man.
man.
Yeah, it's funny too because my little I have two younger sisters and one's 16 years younger than me, and she laughs because she already has a child and she's working on her second. She's like, "Man, why'd you wait so long?" I was like, "Well, I didn't want like kids, like, mistakenly when I was younger." And I'm like, so I just took it the long way. And she's like, yes, you did.
Probably better anyways. So much smarter when you're older.
Oh yeah. I mean, the only funny thing is like when I'm in school, I have classes with kids that are young enough to be my kids.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
Kind of
that
weird.
gets a little, yeah, it gets a little weird after a while because it's like they always joke me I'm the old guy. And I'm like, yeah, 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 I get it. I get it. I'm the old guy.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the only good thing I have against them is, I always tell them, I'm like, yeah, I'm the old guy. I said, but you guys are more, worried about going out and partying tonight, where as me, like I go home and I just get my stuff done. So it's better on the grades when you're not focused on just partying all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I can't wait till I'm actually like working at the hospital. But I'll probably be doing that for like the next freaking, you know, 10 years or so until I'm done my master's. And then I'm just going to retire to a doctor's office and write prescriptions and be nice to people, I guess.
Yep. Yep. That's where my wife stopped too. She got her master's, and then started working at we got a little IT business. Just came to work here.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hell, man. I mean, that's cool. At least you get to work with your wife, like to a point where you actually get to spend time with her.
Yeah, but it's not really, sometimes it's nice, everybody leaves the office or something, we can fool around, joke around, horseplay, but most of the time it's pretty tough sometimes, man, because, difference of opinion, but she's still my wife, and keep it cool with the staff.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that would happen, or the possibility of like button heads. But I mean, my mother-in-law, she's a retired nurse practitioner, so when I'm like working the holidays and everything, I don't have to worry about my wife getting pissed that I'm never going to be home because she's used to it with her mom being a nurse for so many years. And for me, like, I don't really mind working holidays. I mean, it's a lot of extra money, but from when I was in the Marine Corps, like, I've eaten so many Thanksgiving dinners out of a pouch, so it really didn't mean too much of a hill of beans to me of not being home on the holidays. But when you start a family, you got to think about all that crap.
Yep. You were in IT, you said? Tech? Is that
No, I did machinery. So I did like equipment and stuff like that. So our company used to go and install equipment for NSA, Fort Meade, Fort Detrick. So I got myself one of those nice little no escort badges so I could walk around on base. Yeah, and it's so weird too because they always used to see that I was a jarhead, and they're like, Marine, huh? You need me to simplify? And I was like, I've heard that before. Thanks.
Right.
But no, it wasn't bad. I mean, our company did like anything from government machinery to hospitals. We do like CAT scan machines, and trying to get one of those out of a hospital was so hard because when they build the hospital, they actually crane install those into the room they're going into. But when you got to take them apart, just the magnet alone is like 800 pounds. So you definitely need like stair crawlers to get it back out of the building.
Wow.
But no, we did that for, God, I did that for 15 years, and then now I just consult. So like whenever someone in the business is like having an issue trying to take something apart, I've already taken that thing apart maybe like 20, 30 times. And I'm like, yeah, here's what you need to do. I always tell them, I'm like, what I would do is I always carry like a box of bags. Like anytime I had to do a CAT scan machine, I'd go get like a thing of sandwich bags. And they're like, what would you do that for? I was like, easy, get that in a Sharpie and write your numbers on each bag. And then as you're taking it apart and you're looking at your manual, I was like, just number the bag, and that's where all the bolts and stuff for that section go into. So when you have to put it back together, you don't have all these bolts and everything. You got some of them that are slightly smaller than others, but they look real close, and it's like, you gotta be on point. So it keeps all your parts there. Plus, if it's one that's being decommissioned, I used to have like a box of nothing but extra bolts just in case like a place is like, yeah, we had something snap, and I'm like, I have one of those instead of waiting like 6 weeks to have one shipped to them. But yeah, and then doing all the government stuff, like honestly, there's a lot of things that I would just take there and drop off, and then there was a lot of things that we would put together for them that we're not technically allowed to tell people that we put together for them. So disclosure clause and all. But other than that, I mean, I've been to places that build, drones, like the actual drones, not like little guys. But it all depends. Like for the first month that we were going in and out of NSA, we were in a big white van with no markings, with boxes I can't open, and the guys out front doing security, they're hired hands. So like, they're just like, you can't answer my questions. you're going to have to just sit here until you're cleared. And I'm like, okay. So I already had my ID and my paperwork and everything else out. And, they got to send the dogs through it and scan your truck and everything else. And I had to do that until we had our no escort passes, and then I could go right in off the front of base instead of going all the way around to the back. But yeah, it takes them a while before they'll recognize you enough to just let you in.
Not trusted yet.
Well, I mean, it's not just you. I mean, they automatically know all of my military history when they do my background check while I'm standing there. So that part's not bad. That's why, the company would always send me, because I've been on bases before. They wouldn't send like the regular techs to go do those jobs. But that was back when we were still trying to get those government contracts. Now that we have them, I mean, we have guys that, none of our guys have criminal records. So they just, they have to go through the same venting that any other employee would have to do for the government. And once they get their clearance, they can go on and off base, no problem. It's just getting that clearance isn't easy. But I mean, on the light hand, we would do things like gym equipment also. So we would go and do like the university, we'd do their gyms. We would do like physical therapy places. Everything. We would do everything from government contracts to the red box that you would see at like a grocery store.
Really?
Yeah. And a red box, all that is it's a PC inside of a box with like 1,000 disc CD changer. So when you go to your touch screen and you put in what movie you want, the disc changer just grabs it and spits it out. But I mean, the casing of it is like the bottom of it's filled with cement. I mean, it's damn near bulletproof. I wouldn't test it, but I mean, when you go to move those things, they're real heavy, and all it is a shell. I mean, it's just a PC in there. That's it. Just to run the touch screen.
Coin dispenser or something? Bill dispenser?
Yeah, well, they got like the card swiper, but yeah, whether you went to like Redbox, and then they have things that are like Redbox. I guess it's whatever state you're in. But yeah, we would just do the same things. Or you would have like companies that order commercial grade machines, but they would get it for like their home, because the guy was like, oh yeah, I order it through my business to get a tax write off, and I'm having it delivered at my house. And I'm like, do you know that this
What?
they're like, it won't. And I'm like, well, this for a business, like ways for businesses are wider than ways for same ways. So this equipment would not fit anywhere in his house, and have a patio entrance into the back of his home, so you had to take the house. And we stripped it down to like the smallest parts you could strip it down to in the frame, and it was still 6 inches wider than his width.
Dang.
And he's like, you can't take this apart anymore. And I said, sir, I can't take this apart and promise you that everything will work again as soon as I get back down there. Put it all back together. I said, we don't go past this part. And they're like, oh. And then when they called corporate to see if they had anyone else, even they would send me back out. They had to explain to me on something that you do into a business, not in. And we're like, didn't the measurements? And they're like, yeah, I just figured it would make it in. So yeah.
Damn. Your audio dropped real hard too. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it's because it's running through my phone. That's why.
Oh.
Because I was watching your stream through my phone while I had my headset on, playing the game.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's cool. But I'm not gonna bug you anymore, man. I'm doing my own little thing. So I just wanted to see what you guys were up to. I saw y'all running around, and there was nobody else on it, so I wanted to entertain myself.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoy it, man. Come in more often.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know if Blake told you guys, but like some of the servers, they all start off great and they get toxic as hell. But I mean, you guys have a lot of the stuff that we actually look for. I mean, it's PvP and they can raid, but
not like, at least you don't have like all these people working together every single night and just sweep the entire map. Because that's what
Right.
that we just left, is that they would like get the clans together that were one because they're like in Germany or something like that, and everyone else is off, including the admins. So no one's there to catch them cheat, no one's there to catch them do anything else. They would just grid by grid every night, and that's how they found everyone's bases, even the admins. And like the admin would come in and their stuff would be all messed up, and they're like, "How did they even find us?" And it's like, well, because sometimes I'd be in 1 till 6 a.m. see like 10 people just pop, and all of them didn't speak English. And I'm like, oh, so that's how we're playing.
I don't understand what the fun of that is. I'm lagging like hell with my microwave connection is shit.
Well, I mean, I guess that's just their thing. And like the only thing they would do is, they'd be like, hey, like, because they pop on it, like, I don't know, I guess our time, like midnight. And they're like, hey, are you at this place? And you're like, yeah, I was up there. And they're like, I shoot you in the head or I steal your stuff. And then they just like, and I'm like, yeah, I know. So we kind of got tired of that stuff every night. I mean, like every day, because once they find out where your stuff was, it doesn't matter how many times you rebuild. And I even put one of those things to where people couldn't build to get into the base. And what the guy did was he disabled the thing that I put down, and he put one, but he put it inside the.
So they're glitching every time.
Yeah. And then when he put his the thing that I could use on my base, when he got so close to he went to set it down, and actually set it down within, so you can get it back out. So I had to literally wait until like there was and the server did a wipe. That was the only way that I could wait to build again, because
They glitch in the wall.
well, just like where I placed it, glitched it, put it inside of a concrete. And I'm like, yeah, so I can't even get it. I could see it, like, it would have to be, like, in a perfect little spot to even come up with it. But since I didn't put the land.
Who?
Gosh, just running around fucking butt ass naked.
I put all my clothes up so I could get closer to you.
Weirdo.
I was gonna use. I'll put my clothes on the shelf so I could use this one here to. fucking
Oh no, did I forget it? No! No!
play. Magazines.
Fuck! Send me back. I want my M4.
Where?
Send me back. Send me back. I need it.
You can get an M4 from here.
I want
Where
that
can you get
one.
an M4? Yeah, you can get an M4 from here. That is correct.
God damn it.
By the scar. What scope fits the scar? Is it just the? I actually don't want to scope.
Send me back. Send me back. Send me back. Send me back. Send me back.